In a move that has sent shockwaves through the nation, President Trump has ordered a sudden halt to a vast swath of federal grants and loans. This unexpected decision, announced on January 27, 2025, has plunged countless organizations reliant on federal funding into a state of uncertainty and fear. From research institutions to educational programs, the impact of this funding freeze is far-reaching and potentially devastating. The Trump administration claims this pause is necessary to ensure all funding aligns with the president's executive orders. These orders, often controversial, seek to dismantle progressive policies implemented during previous administrations. Targets include initiatives promoting transgender rights, environmental justice, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Critics argue that this move is less about fiscal responsibility and more about pushing a partisan agenda. The White House insists that essential assistance programs for individuals remain untouched. Social Security, Medicare, food stamps, student loans, and scholarships are all purportedly unaffected. However, the freeze impacts trillions of dollars in other federal funding streams. This includes critical areas such as healthcare research, education programs, and various other initiatives. Even grants already awarded but not yet spent are caught in this financial paralysis. The Trump administration justifies the funding freeze as a necessary measure to rein in government spending and ensure taxpayer dollars are used responsibly. They argue that a thorough review of federal programs is long overdue and that this pause will allow them to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. Furthermore, they claim this will ensure that all funding aligns with the current administration's priorities. However, critics view this move as a thinly veiled attempt to advance a partisan agenda. They point to the fact that the targeted programs often clash with President Trump's conservative ideology. For instance, initiatives promoting diversity and inclusion, environmental protection, and LGBTQ+ rights are now facing an existential threat. This, they argue, is not fiscal responsibility, but rather an ideological crusade disguised as budgetary prudence. The speed and secrecy surrounding the implementation of this funding freeze have only fueled suspicions. Agencies were given a mere 24 hours notice before the freeze went into effect, leaving them scrambling to comprehend the full ramifications. This lack of transparency and consultation has exacerbated the sense of chaos and confusion. The immediate effects of the funding freeze are already being felt across the nation. State agencies responsible for administering federal programs are in disarray, unsure how to proceed. Organizations reliant on federal grants are grappling with the possibility of shutting down projects, laying off staff, and curtailing vital services. The uncertainty is breeding fear and anxiety. Researchers working on life-saving medical breakthroughs are left wondering if their funding will abruptly dry up. Teachers in underfunded schools are anxious about losing crucial resources, and families who rely on government assistance programs are terrified of falling through the cracks. The impact extends far beyond the immediate recipients of federal funds. The ripple effects of this funding freeze are likely to be felt throughout the economy, potentially slowing down growth and hindering job creation. Moreover, the sudden halt to critical research projects could have long-term consequences for scientific advancement and innovation. The legality of President Trump's actions is already being challenged. New York Attorney General Letitia James has announced her intention to file a lawsuit, arguing that the funding freeze is unconstitutional. Other states are expected to follow suit, setting the stage for a major legal battle. Critics from across the political spectrum have denounced the funding freeze as an abuse of power. They argue that it undermines the separation of powers, circumvents Congress's constitutional authority over the purse, and sets a dangerous precedent for future presidents. The lack of transparency and due process has also drawn sharp condemnation. The coming weeks and months will be critical in determining the fate of this funding freeze and its impact on the nation. As legal challenges wind their way through the courts and the full consequences of this decision become clearer, one thing is certain: the stakes are incredibly high. The outcome of this battle will have profound implications for the balance of power, the rule of law, and the future of countless Americans who rely on the vital services provided by federal programs. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you again with another informative video.